Getting all my stuff ready. Waiting for you guys to log on. Hey ladies. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to our Instagram Live about how to ask for what you want, Negotiating 101. My name is Annie. I'm the founder of Style Collective. If you don't know what Style Collective is, it is an influencer platform for women to connect with each other, grow, and learn how to be their own boss babes. Thank you. This is called the dirty hair look. My husband goes, "Are you really going to go on Instagram Live with your hair up in a bun?" And I said, absolutely. I did not have time to wash my hair today. So this is what happens. Welcome back, Boutique Cocoa Blush. I remember you from last night. I'm excited to be doing another live with you guys tonight. I love doing these with everybody. So if you're an SC sister, say hi. Let us know where you're from. Peru, awesome. Very cool. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to ask for what you want, Negotiating 101. And usually on Style Collective, we tend to talk about topics that are within the blogging sphere. But because a lot of us, when we first start blogging or we first start businesses, we are also working full-time jobs. So I thought that it would be interesting and hopefully helpful to take a different avenue and talk about negotiating in terms of your career. Hey ladies, I love seeing where all of you guys are from. North Carolina, UK, Virginia, Texas. This is so cool. I love this. And if you don't know, I'm up in New Hampshire and I'm moving down to Raleigh, North Carolina in about a month and a half. I cannot wait. I'm very excited. I'm going to be in Miami for Miami Swim Week, and then I'm going to be in Dallas for StyleCon. So if you're an SC sister, make sure you get your discount, your 50% off discount for that ticket, and I will see you there as well. You guys are awesome. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Okay, so how to ask for what you want, Negotiating 101. I have to be completely honest here. When I was in my corporate job, I was never in a position where I was able to negotiate my salary or negotiate a promotion. The culture was very black and white, and actually towards the end of my corporate career, I was told that I was never going to advance as long as this director, who I call my work bully, as long as she was there, I was never going to advance in my career. And she told me, "Are you in or are you out?" So that painted the picture for me that there was no growth for me there. But I am very interested in this topic. I do know a lot about the psychology, about how the brain works because of this book that I read. I know this is backwards, sorry guys, but it's called Thinking Fast and Slow, and I'm going to focus on that with one of the tips that we have in this blog post, and then we also have a download for members. So this is for members. It only costs $10 a month to be a member of Style Collective, and you get all kinds of worksheets and e-courses and exclusive content to help you be a girl boss. So if you want to negotiate your salary, that's what tonight's Instagram Live is all about. And I'm going to draw from my experiences by watching my husband negotiate his promotion last year, and then also my knowledge from reading this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, which the author of this book won a Nobel Prize on his research for this book. It's a pretty big book, but if you listen to it, it's not so bad. That's what I did. I do better with listening than reading. Okay, so the first thing, sorry, I'm grabbing my notes, is that women usually don't negotiate. There's two mistakes that women make. They usually don't negotiate their salaries. Oh, I'm so glad somebody else read that book. You usually don't negotiate their salaries, and they usually don't prepare appropriately if they do want to negotiate their salaries. So this blog post and this checklist is going to help you with preparing so that you can negotiate your salary, because girlfriend needs a promotion. She needs like a little more money to fund her side hustle and to fund that side business that she's trying to start to make her dreams come true. The book is called Thinking Fast and Slow. I'll link it at the bottom of the blog post. Don't worry, I'll link it. I'll add it in after the Instagram Live. It's a really good book. It's all scientific, research-based. Yeah, that's my sister. Yeah, she needs a promotion. She needs a raise. This Instagram Live is for you, girl. All right, so how do you get what you want? The first thing that you need to do, and I can speak about this from watching my husband do it, is it's not enough to just do a good job and hope that you get noticed for doing a good job. This is what I thought when I first started my corporate career, and this was back in 2010. So I thought, I just have to do a really good job. People will notice and they'll recognize that, and I'll get a promotion, no problem. But really, that's not how it works. You actually have to, it's almost like a little bit of a political game. You have to champion for yourself. You have to be your best advocate, and you literally have to go around to people and tell them how great you are, how good you are at your job, how you landed this deal or improved some process or created a cost savings or found a flaw or did X, Y, and Z within the organization to make the organization better. And I watched my husband do this when he got his promotion right when I left my corporate job. He actually got a mid-year promotion, which was pretty rare for his firm. And I watched him for 6 months prior to that champion himself around the organization. He was talking to directors and partners and people that were making that decision about his career growth. And he was making sure to talk himself up and talk about the new clients he was working with, the projects he was working on, the proposals that were out there, his pipeline, because he's in consulting, the pipeline that he had growing, and he made sure to talk himself up for a good 6 months. And then when it came time for the career roundtable, that's what his organization calls it, they decided to promote him because he did a good job of promoting himself. So if you want to be promoted, you have to promote yourself. Okay, I know it sounds like a little backwards, but you have to do it. So that's the biggest mistake that women make, is that they, and I totally get it because I was the same way too. You don't want to go around championing yourself. It sounds a little pompous, but you have to do it if you want a promotion. If you want it, you have to ask for it. So that is the number one tip. Okay, so what you need to do, so you also have to build your network around the organization, which I did talk about a little bit as well. Build your network. Yes, lean in, that too. And make those connections and those relationships with the people in your organization, and that will help you with getting your promotion. So the 4 tips that we have on this download, okay, so this is your checklist, negotiation checklist. Hopefully you guys can see that. I know it's backwards, sorry. Okay, so the first thing is exploration. Like any good girl boss, you have to do your research. You have to figure out what's comparable pay in your market that you live for the type of job that you're doing. You're watching my videos, thank you. Sorry, my back is hurting a little bit. So you have to do some research about the area that you live in, the type of job that you have, to try to figure out what is the best type of pay for that you want to negotiate. So you have to be prepared, you have to study, you have to know your facts. You can't go into it just making up some number that wouldn't make sense. Okay, it may seem like common sense, but that is step number 1. Okay, you have to do your research. Update your job description. So create the job that you actually want for yourself. Update your job description, add new tasks for your role, add new responsibilities or projects. My husband had to do this when he was getting in the process of being championing himself for a promotion. He had to do his job and the next level up job and prove to these people that he was ready to be at that next level because he was doing that job for the last year. So that's part of it as well. And then you have to challenge yourself to answer a bunch of questions. We have it on here. I'm not going to go through them because it's a little too detailed for what we're talking about here. And then the last step is to set up a meeting with your boss. So WTF, like what do you do when you meet with your boss? Because sorry, I'm not going to curse on Instagram Live. I generally don't really curse anyways. Okay, ground rules. When you sit down with your boss or your future boss, ask all the questions and state all of the facts, all the research that you've done. Make sure that you lay it all out there. And they can't argue with that because it's fact. They're facts. The facts, they are what they are. This is my research. This is what I have. And we're going to talk about this in a very analytical and logical way. Okay? Make it black and white. Make your intention clear of what you want. And do you want more money? Do you want a promotion? Again, it's on this sheet. And then challenge yourself to answer these questions. I'm just going to read off of them real fast. When, where, how will this conversation happen? What deadlines are there? What are some no-go topics? What will I do if no agreement is met? So those are things that you have to think about yourself internally, not with your boss. And then make sure that you avoid ultimatums. You have to work collaboratively if you do want to have a promotion. All right. Number 3, explanation and rationale. You have to really think about what are the goals of the conversation, what's the minimum amount of money that you're willing to get, and why. So probably from my angle, I would look at, do a competitive analysis, look at other jobs in my area and see what they're paying. And then I would also look at my own personal finances and try to find some middle ground between that. What's the minimum that I want to get paid? And then what happens if I don't? What happens if I don't get paid this minimum amount? Maybe I have to cut back on going out to eat. Maybe I need to stop spending on clothing. You have to make some sacrifices and balance your checkbook if you don't get the promotion that you want. All right, so bargaining. This is one of my favorite parts that I talk about. Bargaining. Who goes first? Do you lay your cards on the table? Do you keep your poker face going? What do you do? So the thing that you want to do is you don't want to hold your tongue and let the other person go first. You want to be the one that goes first, and you want to provide your rate. And the reason why you want to do that, you want to provide the opening offer because it's known as anchoring. Okay, and I'll explain anchoring. That actually comes from this book here, Anchoring. So with this book, what this explains is called Thinking Fast and Slow. And the reason why it's called Thinking Fast and Slow, you can tune in later. The Instagram Live saves for 24 hours, by the way, so you can watch this anytime afterwards. But the reason this is called Thinking Fast and Slow is because the author, Daniel Kahneman, did a lot of research and found that our brains have 2 systems. There's system 1, which is automated and intuitive. So when someone says to you, what's 2 plus 2? Immediately you say 4. But the other side, system 2, is cognition with intent. So if someone says to you, what's 17 times 32? Well, system 1 says that's a math problem. And then system 2 kicks in and has to go slowly and calculate the problem. So the thing is that system 2 is really lazy, and we like to default to system 1 and think about things really quickly and just fire off the answer because it's easy, it's automated, it's intuitive. But the problem with that is when your system 2, because it's lazy, your brain has formed all of these biases, and it tends to fall back on these biases, and you rely on these things. So one of them is called the anchoring effect. So if you go into a conversation, like let's say for example, someone gives you a price, you have in your head like, I only want to pay $20 for that, and then the other person was thinking, oh, like I totally would have paid $50 for that. You already set that price at a really low bar and you don't really have much room for negotiating. Or another thing is designer handbags, anchoring effect. So they are super expensive and now you have this bias in your mind. So you don't want to go in and you want to be the first one to say the price because you don't want your bot, like once you say, I want $50,000 a year, then the negotiation is either going to go up or down from that. You want to set the anchor because their system 2 in their brain is lazy. And they're going to rely on system 1 and it's going to be automated and intuitive, and you say 50,000 and their brain is immediately going to say, okay, 50,000, that's the number that I'm working from. I'm going to go up from there or I'm going to go down from there. So that's my favorite part of this with the psychology behind it. And again, this is a really great book. I will link it at the bottom of the blog post, but it tells you a lot about why our brains work the way that they do and why you need to stop and think for a minute and rely on your system 2 to solve complex problems. So it's really interesting. All right, so I think that's everything that I have for you guys today. Like I said, I'm not an expert on negotiating, but I have witnessed my husband negotiate and champion himself when he got his promotion almost 2 years ago. And we did do a lot of research, me and the team, mostly my team. They did a lot of research on this, and we have a lot of good quotes from professors. And then I also have this book that I will reference in the post. And we have this negotiation checklist, which is gold. This checklist is amazing. You guys are going to love this. So I know this is not typically what we talk about with SC, but I'm hoping that you loved this topic and found it helpful, found it relevant for yourself in your career, because I know a lot of you guys are still working while you are focusing on your side hustle and building your side business. So there's nothing wrong with asking for what you want, okay? And now you have the tools in your toolbox to do that. So good luck, go and get them. It helps if you open your pitches with brands too. Yes, yep. Yeah, so do you guys have any questions? We can do a future negotiating 101 about brands, but I did want to start, we wanted to start with careers, try to like switch it up a little bit. Yes, I will do a follow-up about negotiating with brands for sure. But we do have an e-course called How to Win at Pitching Brand Partnerships. So you can check that out in the meantime as well. I know you guys love hearing about all the brand stuff, but I'm trying to like diversify a little bit. Yeah, I like the brand stuff too though, it's all good. Any questions? Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope that you liked this. And I'm going to be doing another Instagram Live tomorrow. So my sister, Catherine, who's in this chat, she took a mini MBA program at Rutgers about social media marketing, digital marketing, and she wrote a post summarizing everything that she learned. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. That's going to be really, really great. Thank you, Catherine, for writing that post. Awesome. So glad. Oh, perfect. Coming up for your review. Awesome. You definitely need this worksheet. All right, so I will post this on our Instagram Live replay, because you can now watch Instagram Live 24 hours after it's recorded, which is pretty cool. They just released that feature yesterday, so make sure you guys use that on your Instagram Lives too. All right, so I will see you tomorrow night. Bye, ladies.